Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Dave's Garage. Dave's Garage 249 is my YouTube hashtag handle, anyways. So if you want to find me, or if you want to tell friends how to find me, then find me on YouTube at David Neidlinger, Neidlinger, and up will come some of my videos, and there might be another David Neidlinger out there. I don't know, but anyways, I never thought to come up with a catchy name for my channel. So, anyways, let's get on with what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about this car. This is my '68 Chevy Pro Street. This is pretty nice car. I bought it about 3 years ago. Maybe this is the fourth year I've owned it, and I've just been going back through and changing things and making things mine, and improving things as I go. So overview is this was originally a 454. It's been bored and stroked. It now displaces right around 500 cubic inches. It has aluminum heads, which are Pro Topline 320s, which is really good cylinder head, high dollar. And so when we bought the car, it had like Pro stock valve springs and stuff, and it wiped out the roller rockers and the lifters and stuff. So rebuilt the engine, and it's got a matching comp cams. I think it's 652 lift, makes power from and boost for right around starts about 3,200 and can go to 7,500. I've chipped it to stay down below 7,000 and keep it at 6,900 because I just don't want to buy parts all the time. It's a full roller camshaft, solid roller cam, and lifters and rockers. So we have to adjust them from time to time. I run about 5 pounds of boost. This is a 671 blower, and a pair of Holley 750 double pumpers topping it off. No power valves. They're blocked. This is not blower referenced. And it still seems to work pretty good on the street. This has electric CSI water pump. And so that's kind of an important thing to keep your circ pump running all the time. And cooling is handled by a couple of fans and works real good. I've never had temperature issues. Also have a transcooler buried in here. You might be able to see it. It has an electric fan, and to me, I don't run the electric fan on this because it just loads the alternator down, and I don't think it's necessary just for street driving. It does have kind of a high stall converter. I think it flashes at about 4,000 RPM. And the higher the stall converter, and the more pressure in the transmission, pressure always equals heat. So yes, it's probably okay that that's on there. And the reason would be if you were bracket racing and you want to keep your ET predictable, and you made it through the first few rounds of eliminations, and now you're going to start hot lapping later in the evening, you might want to have that on to keep the transmission temperature good and consistent and not overheat, and so you don't wind up in an elimination race and go, where the heck did that number come from? So it just it helps consistency. Getting around to the back side of the car, it's got 12-bolt narrowed rear end, ladder bars, strange engineering coil-over shocks that are fresh. I think I run 175-pound springs. Maybe 150s might have been a better choice. I have them. Just maybe change it in the winter, but I think the 175s kind of, they're starting to break in a little bit, so maybe they're okay. Trunk mounted battery, which is very typical, and of course fuel cell and your master switch, which is something the most drag strips want to see on the back of the car like this. About the battery, the location is on the right side. When I bought it was on the left side. I prefer right side because if you look at the back of the car, the rear axle housing wants to go counterclockwise, twist counterclockwise up into the car. So that way I can run a little stiffer spring on the right side of the car and counteract some of that torque and keep the car raising the nose kind of level. if you're at the drag strip and you see somebody who's their left front tire is way up in the air, and their right side rear tire, it's squatted way down, I'm not, first of all, you're twisting the frame. Second of all, that's not a good setup, in my opinion, because you're prone to rear axle steer and a bunch of other things that probably aren't so great. So that's the way I see chassis tuning anyways, along with all the particulars of instant centers and pinion angles and things. So getting on to the interior of the car, and I hope that I'm not boring you model car guys, because you guys really want accuracy in your builds, and I'm hoping that maybe some of this will help you guys in your detailing, so you understand why things are the way they are. Now inside the car, I'm not crazy about this tachometer. I don't like the first 5,000 RPM being down, just barely in the corner of your eye. We have shift light, and this is an early cheetah shifter to it's neutral safety, so that means that the car will only start and the starter will only engage when that shifter's in the neutral position. And we have the switches on the dashboard, which I'll explain when I get in and start this car up. Okay, so to start this bad boy up, first thing we do is I always leave the master switch off, and the reason for that is because we may or may not have parasitic drain. I don't think we do with this car, but anytime you get these old Pro Street cars where they've kind of combined the stock wiring with the accessories, there's a potential there. We don't know about this wiring being that old, so turn signals, brake lights, everything works, but you just don't know where somebody cut something and it touches ground. I don't know. Anyways, so I don't have any issues with dead battery. That's what I do. Okay, inside the car, let's see if we can focus on this. This is kind of typical race car Pro Street setups. If I wired this car from the beginning, I wouldn't have done it this way. You can put a fuse box and put all your accessories on like a 30 amp or so relay, and turn the key on, and that will bring on all of your fans and everything. You don't really need this switch panel, but this is kind of what you find, especially the older cars. So sorry, it's going in and out of focus. So anyways, basically, here's a transmission fan, which I can turn on and off at will. This is cooling. This lower position is water pump, and you can hear it running. And then this would be off, and you never want to leave that switch in that position. And there is water pump and cooling fans. So usually about the time I see 140 on the temp gauge, I flip that on, and sometimes sooner, because I have forgotten to turn it on, and fortunately caught it just about every time. This car had nitrous. It was a nitrous street racer at one time, so that would be a fuel pump, which I no longer have. This is the fuel pump that I have right now. That's on the on position. If you push it down, it goes test, which it'll just intermittently fire it. I use that when the car's been setting for quite a while to refill the fuel bowls and make sure that the system's pressurized. Also, it's a good indicator that you might be running out of fuel, because like a week or so ago, I went to drive it, and the fuel pump came on, but it didn't sound like it was loading, and I was a little bit low on fuel, so I wasn't picking up fuel. So the procedure is that this key has to be on, and the shifter has to be in neutral. And I always, just in case, I put my foot on the brake pedal anyways, and roll the starter, and then flip the ignition on. So this is my new exhaust system, and it's pointing out the side, so it's got a little bit different sound to it. See, got a boost gauge up there. Sometime I'm going to have to remount that. I don't like the way it is. You'll see all I started it earlier so we didn't have to go through the cold start. You have to start it and shut it off a few times, but I'm starting to see they're creeping to 140 on the gauge. Once, and my policy is with this car is that until you see about 160 or 170, stay out of it. You've got solid roller lifters and solid everything, and you just want to make sure that everything's warmed up and lashed properly before you romp on it. Let's see if I can set you guys down, and I'll back it out of the garage. So what I'm going to do is give you guys an outside view, and we'll start her up. I forgot to throw my master switch on. Master switch, master switch. I'd rather make sure it's off and forget than never remember to turn it off. Okay, so probably don't have the tripod, and I really question, you know, going out on the road and doing a big burnout. Somebody could see that and decide to charge you with reckless driving. So we'll save that video for another time. But see, the difference is that I moved the exhaust discharge in front of the back tire, but I didn't want it sticking out, and I didn't want a big loud chromy looking pipe there, so it's just kind of discreetly there. I'm running 3-inch exhaust, and I'm running the straight through cherry bomb oval shaped mufflers. That keeps everything high and tight up inside the car. The only thing I noticed is that I might have to put some insulation in the floorboards. About it for this video. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope you learned something, and you model car guys give you some insight on what direction to go on some of your detailing. So please like and subscribe. Share this with your friends if you think it's interesting. This car is ungodly fast, I'm just telling you. On 5 pounds of boost, I would say it would run probably way low 11s, high 10s on these crappy tires, and on some slicks, probably 1070s. And if we went to 7 pounds or better boost and a little more timing and some race fuel, probably could get her in, coax her into the high 9s without too much trouble. The potential there is to go way faster than that, but the chassis isn't built to handle that kind of horsepower. As a matter of fact, when I do a burnout on the street, you can tell it launches straight initially, and then as the torque builds on the motor, it starts wanting to twist the chassis, and I start having a harder time handling the car. So it's just not enough chassis for this much motor. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.